they reported a story about a U.S. ambassador early this morning that turns out to be totally false. The New York Times hit piece indicated that Nikki Haley had spent nearly $53,000, indicated, on curtains in her residence in New York, except guess what? It wasn't Trump's State Department. It was Obama's. So the Times is now walking back that story. Like, if you're going to do a hit job, don't fall flat on your face, my friends. Joining me now with the reaction is Howard Kurtz, the host of MediaBuzz, which airs Sundays here on FNC. Howie, how are you? Big news night for a Friday night. And we have to hit this Nikki Haley thing first, because this seems reminiscent of, what, the Ben Carson spending too much money and Scott Pruitt flying around on and now it's Nikki Haley. Something didn't ring true to me when I heard it. What really happened?
One of the worst headlines I have ever seen in the New York Times or any other newspaper, trying to paint Nikki Haley as some kind of out-of-control Scott Pruitt spending tens of thousands of dollars on unnecessary luxuries. Except when you read down to the fourth paragraph of the story, it says that she had nothing to do with this purchase of these $50,000 curtains. It was the Obama State Department, as you say. And the editor's note says, well, gee, we created an unfair impression and we should not have focused on Nikki Haley. What was missing is two things. One is the story should have been obliterated, blown up, digitally erased, because it no longer has any reason to be. And there should be an apology from the paper to Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that there was an editor's note. Who reads an editor's note? That's like way down at the bottom of the story. I mean, that's it? They're able to do that at the New York Times, assail her character, which essentially is what it was, and then add a little blip at the end?
Well, at least there was some acknowledgement of all the criticism with the editor's note. I just don't think the editor's note went far enough. Not only was it a bad headline, when you say that it was unfair to frame this as a Nikki Haley expenditure, then the story simply has no reason
But Howie, they should be publishing above the fold in tomorrow's paper, a print edition, if they want to gain a shred of credibility back. Because the New York Slimes, I'm sorry, it's what they are now, is proving themselves to be another extension of the DNC. That's all it is. DNC, Obama, Hillary, whatever it is, but the old gray lady is should be red-faced with shame after just that one piece. I got to ask you about this Ronan Farrow getting this memo, though, today. And again, it's the same letter that Dianne Feinstein gets. He gets it. Then he goes on TV and starts talking about it. Well, he won the Pulitzer Prize. He has a lot of credibility in reporting these issues. Obviously, Weinstein, what NBC did to stop that story, and other cases like it. But I was kind of surprised that he decided to kind of like go on television and talk about this, given how thin and how old and how uncorroborated this particular allegation is.
Yeah. Well, before Ronan Farrow did that today, I think most of the media were sort of cautious about what had all the earmarks of a late hit. I mean, mysterious letter, anonymous accuser about something that may allegedly have happened when Brett Kavanaugh was 17 years old. But Ronan Farrow, because of his credibility in reporting on Harvey Weinstein, on Les Moonves, sort of gave the rest of the media cover to now go on TV and yak about it. He did not interview this woman. He got a hold of the memo. And, you know, I admire his reporting, but I think it's fair to point out that he worked for the Obama State Department.
Again, I will say, what he did on the other stories, that's called shoe leather reporting. This is taking a little gift wrapped up from Dianne Feinstein and going on television and say, okay, everybody else, you're clear. You have cover to go off and talk about this as if it's something that happened, 5 years ago in his office over there at the D.C. Circuit. I'm telling you, this is an insult to real assault cases and real sexual harassment. Women who've been victimized should see this for what it is, a pure political attack, late hit on a great man. I really appreciate you. Go ahead, last word.
We just don't know the details because the accuser is anonymous, and unlike Anita Hill, who at least testified and was cross-examined, the media need to be extraordinarily careful, Laura, about not being used in an 11th hour smear.
I appreciate it. Howard Kurtz.